Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. As you know that we have linked this initiative to the topic discussions for subject-wise current affairs that happens at 2:30 p.m. every day on our YouTube channel entirely free of cost. A topic with regards to mains is discussed at 2:30 p.m. every day, and with regards to that topic a question with respect to mains is asked from you. It is uploaded on our website on a daily basis, and you can directly go to our website. In the mains answer writing section you will find the list of questions here, and in the comment section you can post the pictures or you can type your answer, and our team evaluates these questions, your answers, entirely free of cost. So if you have not joined this initiative, this is the right time. Mains is quite near. Even if you are not writing mains this year, our team highly urges you to practice answer writing because it doesn't happen overnight. You have to give a practice of at least 4 to 5 months or sometimes even more than that, depending on what is the kind of perfection in your answers. So the question for day 22 that was asked from you on Friday was about the draft national policy on disability. A lot of uproar has been happening, especially from the civil society side, people supporting the rights of disabled, that this is not a good policy or the opinion taking time should be extended. So first of all, what you have to remember here is that remember the ministry and quote the ministry if possible. So the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is involved in this policy, and under the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities or Divyangjan. So what is the question? Highlight the features of the new draft national policy on disability. In what ways is the policy disconnected from reality? Answer in 250 words and submit your answers at our website rajisacademy.com. If you find a lot of trouble logging into the website, the link to the website is there in the description box below. Click on that link, it will direct you to our website rajisacademy.com. So let's understand this question. The directive here is highlight. Highlight basically means that you have to enumerate, you have to talk about the important parts, not the all parts. For example, when we talk about some policy or a draft policy, you can be sure there can be 100 pages of policies, there can be 100 points, but since the word highlight is used, means you have to talk about only the important things. And the good part is that this policy is in current affairs, so whatever is being talked about in newspapers, on news channels, that is of utmost importance. Those are the points that you need to focus your answer around. So highlight the features. We will be talking about the important features only, since the directive is highlight. In what ways is the policy disconnected from reality? It was one of the titles, it was the titles of one of the articles that we saw in the Wire. It was there on one of the editorials. So that's how we framed this question. In what ways is the policy disconnected from reality? Basically it is asking you to talk about the downsides or about the negative side of this policy. How will this policy, or about the loopholes of this policy. So basically that is there, and you also have to give your viewpoint with regards to that. So the question is comment. There is another directive also, comment. So in the end we'll see what viewpoint can we generate. So in the introduction, since this answer is going to be very big, you have to write about features also, and you have to talk about the negative side also. So in the introduction, just write down that this policy has been brought by government because in 2016 the act was brought up, which was the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, and government made a commitment. The vision of the government was to secure equal rights and a better living condition for differently abled people or disabled people, and that happened because India had committed to United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So earlier, when in 2006 a disability policy was brought in, that time India did not ratify this convention. This convention had not come into action in India, but now after the ratification, after the signing, so because we have commitments to this convention, this 2016 act was brought up. The number of disabilities was increased from 7 to around 21 or more than that. So number of disabilities were increased, hence there were more people that could be covered under various benefits, and they could be treated differently by the government when it came to reservation or when it came to other health benefits. So what are the important features of this particular policy? First of all, we'll start by the short features. They'll not be called more than twice in the hospital, or they'll not be called more than twice for disability certification to offices. Sign languages interpreters at district hospitals will be mandatory according to this policy. There have been guidelines to modify personal vehicles according to the disability of the person, and there have also been guidelines to have indigenization of motorized wheelchairs. Wheelchairs, especially motorized wheelchairs, are very expensive. So there have been guidelines for indigenization for production at home. There would be year-wise maintenance of data of employees with disabilities that will be carried out, how they are, how they are being benefited. There are other forms to help them. For example, early identification, providing them better education, like education which is relevant to them according to the kind of disability people have. Skill development so that they can find adequate employment. Social security, for example, pension or unemployment allowances. Disaster management, for example, in the case of COVID-19 pandemic, it was the disabled and old that should have been catered to first, but because this was a pandemic on such a large scale and it was for the first time happening, so we could not decide for a priority list. So there are provisions for that also. Now, the sixth point is the government aims to secure accessibility to built infrastructure. For example, whether it's transportation, it's government buildings. Earlier also it was happening under the Accessible India campaign. Now it is revamping and taking it to the next level, especially in the areas of information and communication systems. They'll make sure that that information can be accessed by people with disabilities also. Universal design as a guiding principle, whether it's school curriculum, university curriculum, everything will be designed from now on the basis of on the basis that in a way that can be easily understood by people with disabilities, especially these areas like cinema halls, museums, tourist places which were earlier not covered will be made disabled friendly. The most important point here is recognizing disability as a cross-cutting issue. The ministry has given guidelines to other ministries. For example, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India has also got guidelines that what to do, what steps should be taken by particular ministries or organizations to help the disabled people to have infrastructure in place so that they can help the disabled people. For example, there could be a certain kind of information or certain kind of show telecast, serial telecast that could be of use to a disabled people, so a disabled person. So that will be telecasted in their in their homes, in their radio places, televisions, or things like that, whatever is of relevance to them. And similar instructions have been given to other ministries also. There have been there has been a list prepared that what and on how much level do they plan to coordinate. The last one is maintaining data regarding crimes against disabled people, which was earlier not happening, so that they can be in the future, if data is available against people who have about people who have committed crimes against disabled people. So in future, strict action can be taken against these criminals. Now, what are the issues, or how does it separate itself from reality? First of all, participation of persons with disabilities in planning is not happening. Planning, they have to be involved in planning, especially at the local levels. Especially women with disabilities have to be involved, so that the structures, whether it's for transportation, commutation, or just for day-to-day lifestyle, that can be disabled friendly, especially for women. So they have to be involved in the planning process, which has not been done. Doctors have not been included in making this policy, doctors associated with disability. So they have not been taken cognizance of, they have not been included. The exclusion of disabled people from the political space. This policy does not talk about their inclusion in politics or any benefits that they'll be getting there, until unless disabled people have their own leaders, 1, 2 or n number of leaders which can represent them in the political space. Their grievances cannot be heard or cannot be understood. So there is a lack of representation, not just at the local level, state level, but also at the central level. So non-availability of policy in several regional languages. Whenever a draft policy comes out, the government does make it public it's still in draft stage, and it asks the people for their opinion, that what is your opinion, what should be the amendments made. That is how a democracy functions. But first thing, the draft policy is available only for a few days for public opinion. In that time, during that 15-30 days or even more, most people don't even know that there is some policy that will be affecting their rights. Secondly, about this policy, it is about disabled people, and the policy document is not disabled friendly. It is not, first of all, it is not available in regional languages, so people, disabled people, they do not understand Hindi or English all the time. So it is available only in 2 languages. It should be made available in regional languages. It is not available in visual format. They say that Braille format, which is readable by, which can be understood by blind people or visually impaired people, the government is making it available, but there are many kinds of disabilities. So how will these people even understand the kind of policy that government is about to bring? So the protests are going on. The civil society agents are saying that this policy should be translated to as many languages as possible, and the time seeking public opinion, that should be enhanced. The timeline should be pushed away, and there should be more days for seeking public opinion. The next issue is that it does try to address the implementation gap which was there in the Accessible India campaign, or the campaign that which meant to create all public spaces disable friendly. But there was an issue of implementation, and there was still an issue of implementation that this policy seems to address, but there is no provision of auditing, and without auditing and regular investigation, these systems or these policies stop functioning with time. So that is an issue that it does not address. So hence, like, there are like 2-3 more issues. It does not involve like public procurement laws and policies for goods and services. They say that we want to make infrastructure disabled friendly, or our educational curriculum disabled friendly, but it has to happen at the stage of procurement itself. When they are procuring the raw material for creating a building, there should be procurement of wheelchairs also, or procurement of material for ramps also, or adequate railings also. So that has to be there. If procurement provisions are not there, then how will this happen? Everything is in the air. The next one is that very simply, that suicide prevention strategy has not been brought out by the government with regards to disabled people, and the discrimination that they face at the hands of insurance agencies. Some people do not give them insurance, or it is very expensive for them, because insurance agencies are profit making entities at the end of the day, and hence disabled people face discrimination there also. They cannot get health insurance at an affordable price. So these were the important issues. This is how, like, these 7-8 were the issues, how the policy is different from reality. What you can do is write your features in a point format, and since the second part is about comments, so you can use these points, use all these 7-8 points and conclude them in a paragraph, or write them in points, the issues, write them in points, and then write a concluding paragraph in the form of conclusion, that yes, the document does lay an emphasis on coordination between state and central government, but it is about implementation. There has to be a comprehensive set of commitments. There has to be a comprehensive planning that also involves the private sector, civil society, local bodies, governments at all levels, central, state, local level, and people at large. Awareness amongst people that how to live properly in a society which has all kinds of people, and how to make lives easier for themselves also and for others also, and how to live in such a diverse country which has diversities in terms of disability also. So that's why these are the things that should be done to make this policy more real. Otherwise, issues have been dealt with in detail. So awareness, sensitization and capacity building at all levels is the need of the hour. This is how you will conclude your answer. This is your complete answer for today. If you want to read the whole answer, copy it, keep them in notes, it is there on our website. The entire answer has been uploaded on our website. The link is there in the description below. You can go there, you can read the whole answer and write your own answer, post it in the comment section below and get it evaluated by our experts entirely free of cost. We'll see you with another discussion tomorrow. Take care.